We'll get an in-depth update and walk around with Gerry McCallum from Orchard Lake. West Bloomfield Planning Commission approves a new community center last night, and it's one step away, one more approval away from becoming a reality. And we will have a new Chaldean Community Center in West Bloomfield in a little over a year, and it's remarkable. And there's a really interesting side story that goes along with that we found out a lot of other information about last night as well. All that, the weather, and more coming up right here in the Splash Live. Splash Live, of course, part of 90 minutes of live local television each and every day. We start here at 9:30 with the Splash. Tyler Keefe at 10 o'clock with the megacast, and it's all local. Tyler takes a little wider view geographically what's going on in our area, but we thank you very much for tuning in. Super easy to watch our program on a variety of different platforms. We're on Comcast Channel 15, where we've been for over 20 years. You can also find us in the Greater West Bloomfield area and all around Metro Detroit on Channel 99 if you're an AT&T subscriber. Really good way to watch is to go to civiccentertv.com. Over 50,000 people do that each and every year. We've got our on-demand area, we've got our live video right there, and we also have a brand new program guide and a whole lot of other information. So any of our past shows you want to watch, our current shows are all right there at civiccentertv.com. Now don't forget, we're also streaming this morning on Facebook, so if you want to pick up the stream one day instead of watching it on cable, you can do that. Also on Facebook and on YouTube, and then we are live on the radio too each and every day. You tune in as you're driving around at 89.3 FM at portions of our show, also on 88.1 The Biff in Bloomfield Hills. So lots of ways to consume all of this. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of what's going on today, and that starts with the weather. And if you were driving around yesterday or even the last couple of days, wow, how hazy has it been? More of that today. 81 degrees is going to be our high. 87 tomorrow, 87 into the 4th of July weekend. As you can see, the temperatures are good. We're going to have some clouds, some rain, but generally it's going to be a pretty good weekend, warm and very summer-like. I've got a video that I shot a couple of days ago, but this is exactly what it was like last night. I mean, we got this haze and this like super orange sun peeking through or moon peeking through later on at the night. I saw the moon last night. It was like totally orange, and it's going to really get kind of creepy because we're getting really close to a full moon too. But I mean, very hazy yesterday, and unfortunately, other than the aesthetics, which were just totally weird yesterday, we have an air quality alert in effect for today. Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy has declared today to be an action day for elevated levels of fine particulate. All of this, of course, due to the Canadian fires. You know all about that by now. So today, be careful here in Oakland County. If you're going to be outside a lot and working, you might want to get an N95 mask. They're recommending that. But just know that if you are elderly, if you have some breathing issues, if you have asthma, or really just anyone, there's all this fine particulate in the air. So do be careful. You know, take the proper precautions. All the information is on the web. You can go to the state's page at deqmiair.org. It's deqmiair.org. And you will find all the information right there. So, big day yesterday. West Bloomfield Planning Commission approving the all-new Chaldean Community Cultural Center. And the Chaldean community has a similar facility over on the east side in Sterling Heights, and with the approval of the Township Board, they will have one here in West Bloomfield. Went through most of the approvals last night. Here is, I could show you this picture real quick. Here's an elevation of what the building is going to look like. Now, this is going to be built using an existing building that's going to be totally redone, nice new roof lines, a nice new facade, a lot of other big improvements to the old Walnut Lake Elementary School, which has been used for a number of other things over the past several years. And honestly, it's not the best kept up piece of property. So having this there, it's a double win. We're going to have this new Chaldean Community Center, and we're also going to have that property all fixed up. And then there's a really interesting side story that we'll get into after we get a little bit more information here, because as we've been talking about on the show, there was a memorial built by the Walnut Lake Women's Club on this site, and that is going to be preserved, and we got a little bit more background on that after last night's meeting as well. But I did have an opportunity last night to catch up with Martin Manna from the Chaldean Community Foundation, and we're going to chat with him in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get all the lowdown on the new community center coming to West Bloomfield. Good morning, I'm Dave Scott. You're watching The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Hey everybody, Dave Scott back here on the Splash Live. We're at West Bloomfield Township Hall, where really a very big moment for our community just happened as the Chaldean Community Foundation is going to open up a new community center here in West Bloomfield. It's made it through the Planning Commission. I'm sure a couple of steps left, but we are on the road. Joining us now from the foundation is Martin Manna. Martin, good to be with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, wow, this must have been a big night for you. You've been working on this project for a while, I presume.
Well, we have quite a large community here in West Bloomfield Township and a growing community, and so this is a perfect location for us to provide growing services for the community here. And yeah, it's been a project in the works for several years, and we finally found the perfect location for it.
Well, you found a great location, one that certainly hasn't been utilized to its greatest potential for the last several years, right at Walnut Lake Road and Inkster. And fantastic. So great facility. What do you plan to offer at the community center?
We have a community center in Sterling Heights for our large Macomb community. Here at the West Bloomfield facility, it's really preservation of our identity, our culture, our language. We'll have classes to help teach Aramaic, the language that Chaldeans speak, the oldest continuously spoken language. We'll have a library to preserve many of our historical manuscripts that date back to the 1st century from the Chaldean Catholic Church. Many of them were destroyed by ISIS and other forces, unfortunately, in Iraq. And then we'll also have space that hopefully will be for the Chaldean Cultural Center, a business incubator, a demonstration kitchen, and many other services to really serve the community, the growing community, not just the Chaldean community, but all the people of West Bloomfield and the surrounding area.
Well, and I heard you say in the Planning Commission meeting that we are recording this, it just concluded that some 30% of your members are not directly members of the Chaldean community. So it's a diverse group that you have. And, you know, this is just another great contribution to our incredible, diverse, and active community here in West Bloomfield.
Yeah, West Bloomfield's a special place. There's a lot of great diversity here, and I think, we're just trying to add to already the uniqueness that already exists. And like you said, we have quite a large membership at the Chaldean Chamber that is diverse, and we also provide health and human services. Some 25% of the people we serve, even in Macomb County, are not Chaldean. So a very welcoming place for all the people in this area.
Martin, a couple of steps left to go through, but construction hopefully won't be too far down the road and opening next year maybe?
That's the goal. I mean, we'd like to get renovations started as quickly as we can. We just need to get final approval here from the Township Board, which we anticipate will happen in July, and then from there just some revisions with the planning department, and hopefully we could get renovations underway early fall.
The facility that you're remodeling and adding to is a school, and in many ways that works out pretty well for what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, because in many ways a lot of our work is cultural educational, so it's a perfect facility. It's just needs quite a renovation because of how long it's sat abandoned and some unfortunate activities that have taken place there, whether it's graffiti or other issues with vandalism. But it's going to be a complement to already such a beautiful area, and it'll be ready hopefully early next year.
And then, Martin, a very interesting side story that we've been covering on Civic Center TV the last couple of weeks. There was a peace memorial that was built many, many years ago by a women's club, the Walnut Lake Women's Club, that we have some news on that we'll share later on tonight, but that was really, they built it several years ago, and then it wasn't maintained. It's on the property that you're going to be developing, and you made news today by saying that that's going to be a continuing part of your improvement project, and you're going to continue to maintain that.
Yeah, of course. So we want to honor our veterans and the service to this country. We're proud Americans, and it is part of our property, and we will absolutely maintain it and improve upon it.
All right, Martin, thank you very much. Let's keep in touch as you're going through the project. I probably can knock on your door every once in a while, and congratulations. It's going to be a great addition to our community.
We'll see you at the ribbon cutting.
All right, I will be there. All right, hey, thanks for checking in. We'll be back in a minute more in the Splash Live right after this.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here on the Splash Live Civic Center TV. Great to hear that story from Martin Manna about the development of the Chaldean Cultural Center coming here to West Bloomfield at Inkster and Walnut Lake Road. Is going to be a great addition to the community. A side story is they are developing that property, getting all of their final approvals. An organization back in 1972 called the Walnut Lake Women's Club built a memorial right on what was then the Walnut Lake Elementary School property, and it's really been ignored until some community members not too long ago went and cleaned the whole site up and revived it. Here's some video. Looks absolutely terrific. I was out there the other day. They did the landscaping, got a flag up on there, and did a little service to revitalize this memorial. Now, the memorial sits right on the corner of the property that the Chaldean Community Foundation will be developing for their new community center. And as part of their agreement with the township, they've agreed to continue to maintain this memorial. And, you know, with the flag on there, that flag's got to be lit at night to, you know, be compliant with all the flag standards and get all these other things up to date. So Martin, as you heard in the interview, is committed to, and the Chaldean Community Foundation committed to keeping that there and building that into part of their development for the project. project. When we started hearing the story about that memorial, we had no idea what the Walnut Lake Women's Club was all about. We got some information last night all about that. Here is an image, and I've got to do this quickly, but here is an image of the budget that they put together on a piece of paper to put that whole memorial together. We have some history documents now about the Walnut Lake Women's Club, and so we'll deal with that on another day. Had a really good conversation last night with Kathy Kunkel at last night's meeting at the Planning Commission, so really fantastic. So we've got to move along more on that in the coming days. Yesterday I had a chance, and Jared, we're going to go right to this because we don't have much more time. Yesterday I had a chance to head out to the Orchard Lake, the new Orchard Lake, Village of Orchard Lake city offices. They've updated the police department, the Public Works building, and I had a chance to check with Gerry McCallum from Orchard Lake, who gave us a tour. Let's watch. Welcome back to the Splash Live Dave Scott Civic Center TV with Gerry McCallum from the city of Orchard Lake Village. Jerry, how are you?
I'm good, David. Thank you.
So, big exciting news today. Tell us about this amazing construction project.
So as you know, we've been working on this project for well over a year. We are in the final stages of completing it. As you can see, a little bit of work still going on here, final touch-ups and stuff like that. But the main focus on this was the police department relative to expanded office space, along with some holding cells and then a sally port, which is critical for officer safety when they're bringing a detainee in, and then the garage. So we'll go through the police department, and then we'll go to the Department of Public Works. Come on in.
All right, very good. Thank you for taking all of us on this tour. So what do we have here, Jerry?
So with this is the vestibule of the police department. There's Officer Frost. Officer Frost is our clerk that handles all the day-to-day operations and deals with the public. So say hi, Officer Frost. Hello. So this is just a common area here for the police department staffing, some storage there. We'll walk down this hallway and then we'll see the main focus of the office space. We have, excuse me, offices here for the chief and lieutenant, conference room, sergeant's office, new break room for the police department. You got a break room for them. So really what happens is the police department will not be associated with the city hall relative to us sharing the same entrance. It's more of a secured area for them and for detainees that they bring in. So just a common hallway here. We got women's restrooms because we do have 2 female police officers. We have the male officers' restrooms, including locker facilities, workout facility for them. Obviously, we're still finishing touches, so we don't have any equipment installed there yet. Okay. We'll go on through here, David, and this is actually the evidence processing room. So we have a security area here where they can have a detainee out there, process their paperwork, their belongings, excuse me, and then we have a secured lockup as well, that area.
So right here, behind this door here, Jerry, that would be a secure lockup right there.
It is, yes, for evidence, so nobody can tamper with it or do anything with it.
Okay.
Makes it very, very tight from that standpoint. This is, the main focus was again, the sally port, which I'll show you in a minute. This is actually the holding cells where they bring a detainee in, hold them, processing area of that individual, mug shots, fingerprinting, then you have your 2 holding cells in the back there.
And I imagine this is a little bit more expansive than what you had in the past.
It is. Actually, it's a lot more space for the police officers. We've expanded our police department. More importantly, I think the biggest focus is on the safety of the officers and the staff. Previously, we were in such a small combined area, they'd bring a detainee in or a criminal and process them right there in front of the clerical. Not a very safe situation. So much more secure. And again, the holding cells in the back there where they would actually hold the individuals.
So you've got room, you've got a couple of cells here.
There's a male and a female in case you have 2, or so you could separate the 2 detainees if you happen to get 2 people in trouble. So come on this way, I'll take you to the police department garage.
Jerry, talk about how long this construction has been going on.
So Dave, this actually has been a year to the date, actually. We started breaking ground in July of last year. Here we are coming up on July, and we're just, again, putting the finishing touches on it. So I think the general contractor's done an absolute awesome job in working with the city and getting this project done in such a timely manner and on budget.
So in this garage, you're going to be able to keep your cars
Yes.
and all your vehicles
Yes.
inside in a weather-controlled environment.
Right, so the main focus was, again, the Sally Port that's behind you. This is a security area. Again, we're still putting finishing touches on it. We don't have the door there. The idea was is an officer brings a detainee in, they come in, they can come into this caged area here, there'll be a door right there, shut that door and have an area where they can actually bring them out in a very secured manner. The rest of the garage is for the parking of the police department vehicles. For many years, David, these vehicles would sit outside, and it's not good for that equipment to be sitting out in the wintertime, baking in the summertime. So hopefully we're going to add some longevity to our equipment as well by having a nice garage area like this. Excuse me. So.
Excellent. Well, this is, and you've got a lot of space in here now. This has got to be very exciting for the
Absolutely.
officers.
They are very excited. The fact that it's a brand new facility for them. The morale is really up. They're really excited to get in here 100%. We're not in here 100% yet, again, because I indicated we're doing final touches. So.
Okay, very good.
With that said, I'd like to take you to the Department of Public Works building if you like.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, I don't know if you recall, David, but for many years the Department of Public Works were located in the building over there, but has since been demolished. This is a brand new facility where the Department of Public Works can house all of their equipment in one building. You'll see when we go in there how much equipment we have. More importantly, they can maintain the equipment properly. We have a wash bay in there where we can wash the vehicles, wash the trucks after a snow event, and again, that adds longevity to our equipment as well. So, let's go on inside. So there's 3 individuals that work in the Department of Public Works. We have some office space, some mechanical rooms. Excuse me. The Department of Public Works also has a locker room back in here, along with a women and men's restroom. But something that didn't exist before in the old Department of Public Works building, so kind of nice for them as well. The big thing is the focus is the bay areas here now. This is quite a large area, but as you can see, all the equipment we have, we now keep all the equipment housed in one area. None of it has to sit outside. We have the red curtain over there is our wash bay area where we can maintain and wash our equipment. Keep in mind, again, we're still in the infinite stages of moving in here. There's a lot of the stuff that we took out of that old building that we're still trying to organize and stuff as well, but fabulous facility here. And the DPW guys are ecstatic about it. They're very excited to be in a brand new facility like this.
And your crew, probably our viewers won't be surprised. Your guys, they want to be able to maintain these vehicles as well, and having an environment for all their tools, as we can see, and a lot of things that are needed to maintain these vehicles inside. Almost impossible to do it in a cramped quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you were before.
And again, I apologize that it's still messy because again, we exited the old building very quickly to get demolished and stuff. But let me give you an example. That plow truck there is a $200,000 plow truck. Previously, we couldn't wash it after a snow event, and if it was freezing cold out, we couldn't take it to quarter car wash. So now we have the ability to wash that piece of equipment, again, which is a very, very expensive piece of equipment, and maintain it properly.
Each day was full of
Well, and then, people don't realize how much equipment, even a small community such as Orchard Lake, there's a lot of gear. You got a lot of hardware, a lot of vehicles to maintain.
There is. Well, the DPW does multifunctional stuff. I mean, obviously we maintain our roads. Wintertime, we do ditching. We do we maintain the nature sanctuary, which is a 50-acre parcel out there. So every piece of this equipment does something for the city, and we're very, very fortunate that our city council, our citizens recognize that we need this equipment to do the job properly and do it in an expedient way.
And with all of this big equipment comes a facility that is a very tall ceiling in here.
Yes.
And then obviously the huge doors to be able to accommodate all of your vehicles and things that you may not have thought of.
So you can see up there also, David, we have a mezzanine area now, which we never had previously for storage of material and supplies and stuff. So that's a huge benefit as well. Again, still being organized because we just moved in about 2 weeks ago. Previously we were so cramped in the other building, we were storing material outside, we're storing stuff outside, and now we can keep it all housed in one unit.
So talk about the employees here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every community's in competition for workers and employees, and it's difficult to fill positions now.
Mm-hmm.
This has to help with morale.
Oh, tremendously. Not only, you know, I mentioned in the PD side about the morale being really up, and Department of Public Works guys, they were so excited to get into this building, and the fact that, again, you can put all of our equipment in here. We have everything in one site. And again, more importantly, be able to maintain it properly, because these guys are pretty tight on maintenance on the vehicles, making sure things are clean. I mean, our dump truck's dirty because we just used this weekend, but you can see how clean this truck is, and this is 2-3 years old. So proper maintenance is big, and it shows our residents that we care about what we use our tax dollars for. We purchase equipment that's nice, we maintain it properly, and you know, again, you know, we did go out for a bond for this project, David, including the police department and the DPW, but we did not, excuse me, raise the millage rate to accomplish this. We accomplished this all under our current millage rate, which I think was very important to our city council and very important to our citizens.
And Gerry, when you're building a municipal building, it's important that you do it right and that the building is around for a long time. This is not, you know, like some commercial properties, they might build them with a 10 or 20 year lifespan. That can't be the case here.
No, that's exactly right, David. That was the mindset on the city council and the construction management committee that did the day-to-day operations on this construction. But yeah, we want this to last 30, 40 years. Hence why the police department was probably a little bit larger than what was initially anticipated. But as you can see, we've got room in here if we buy additional equipment and stuff like that, to where we don't have to do an addition onto this. This facility will incorporate everything in here, along with the police department as well.
And just to summarize the construction project, did it go the way you expected, relatively on schedule? I mean, anyone who's done a home improvement project at their house knows nothing ever goes as planned.
Sure. And it didn't with this project either, David. So when we first started putting footings in the ground, we ran into a lot of terrible ground conditions. Although we did do soil borings, obviously soil borings are only certain areas, so when they started digging footings, we found out, excuse me, some areas that were bad. For example, that wall, that footing, that wall is on about 12, 13 feet down. But that's the stuff that we have to get through. And it delayed us a week, but I'll be honest with you, Tower Construction, our general contractor and construction manager on this project, did a heck of a job too. We worked very closely with them, and hence why the project could be done in 1 year. So what we are here now is we're outside the Department of Public Works building next to our new salt facility also. So the property in the back was really never utilized very much. We had our old salt barn out there and stuff like that, but as you can see from the expanded use, it really opened things up dramatically, especially when the old Department of Public Works building was torn down. We now have a focal point at our front entrance to our city hall, which we really didn't have before. And when you go out in the parking lot, David, you can see that, how that tower kind of emphasizes the entrance to City Hall. We are in the process of getting a nice sign made for that, saying City of Orchard Lake Village. But yeah, it really opened up our space and really made it much more easy to use, much more friendlier, and it just beautified the whole site. The big focal point, as I mentioned earlier, was the new entrance to City Hall. As you can see the tower there, we will have a signage up there that says City of Orchard Lake Village on it, and having our nice entrance to our vestibule, which we were in earlier. So, but again, the project for a year construction, we did very well. I compliment Tower Construction, I compliment the City Council, our construction management committee, because they really did hands-on work on this to get this project done in such a timely manner. So I thank you for your time, David. If you have any other questions, by all means, you can reach out to me.
All right, Gerry, thank you very much for that tour. When you get on property, it feels like they tripled the size of that campus, opening things up with a new parking lot and a new space for parking over at the Historical Center and the whole thing. So great job, Gerry. Thank you very much for the tour. We'll get back when we are really ready for a grand opening and get everything all polished up and fixed up. But thanks for a very quick look right at the heels of construction. Thank you for watching The Splash. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here at 9:30 on Civic Center TV.
Tune in for The Splash live. Get acquainted with people,